Really, all this mom is wanting to know is if anyone else feels this way too, and will this go away? It's group therapy starting now.
When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's group therapy on 99.7 DJX.
All right, Kelly, you want to walk through what she wrote us?
This mom wrote, I'm so ashamed to be writing this to you. I like one of my kids more than the other. I'm a stay-at-home mom, 2 kids, 4-year-old girl, 2-year-old boy. My daughter has a bright, inquisitive mind, a big personality. She loves to dance and sing and be the center of attention. She's funny, sassy, and spirited. She's also stubborn as a mule. Has a hair-trigger temper, throws screaming tantrums.
Okay, yeah.
My son is fun, too, but sweet, more mellow. We've worked hard not to give in to my daughter's tantrums. Our pediatrician recommended a book on strong-willed children. I try to discipline them even-handedly, but it's getting hard. And by the end of the day, I'm resentful and grumpy about her demands and constant rapid-fire questions. I love her, and that's why I feel so guilty that I'm starting to prefer her easier sibling. Now, I haven't discussed this with my husband. I did confide to my sister, and she basically told me I was horrible.
Oh, geez.
I want to change my feelings. Am I alone in this? Has anyone ever felt this way? And will it go away? I obviously don't want to feel like this. I feel like the worst person on the planet.
Dang. So well, you and I both have kids. You have a one of each, a daughter and a son. I have 3 daughters. And so, yeah, I mean, I know and I can relate to daughters, you know, in those early years being challenging for sure. I mean, I would say I have Isabella, Sophia, and Zoe. Isabella and Sophia are my 2 older ones, and they were pretty dang good, like, you know, in their toddler stage and in their terrible 2s and all that stuff. But Zoe, she was like a little hellion, and I definitely feel for her because, yeah, I mean, we kind of have those feelings, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I completely lived this. I mean, you know, my kids are the same, you know, time apart. Mm-hmm. And, you know, our son was pretty easygoing, you know, a little time in the timeout chair, kind of fix stuff.
Yeah.
With her, nope. She would scream her head off. She'd go to the room. She'd like throw things and yeah, we need a completely different set of tools for her than what he had kind of set us up with to expect. And there was a time where, you know, we would go on a trip and know that she was going to have some sort of epically public meltdown. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that was very difficult to deal with. And there was a time there where we were just like, you know, we kind of didn't want to leave the house because we knew something was going to happen. And that was mostly because of one child.
Yeah.
But, you know, it didn't mean that we loved her any less. We just needed a different set of tools. And that's what some people are chiming in. Laura said, I don't see this as playing favorites, although it could turn into that. Raising strong-willed kids is just plain different from raising kids who aren't.
Right.
And you can't discipline the same. Mm-hmm. With the strong-willed child, what works one day doesn't necessarily work the next.
Yeah.
It can be exhausting.
Man, yeah, so this is where I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. 502-571-9970. With group therapy. I think one thing that our listener can be reassured with is that she is not alone on 99.7 DJX with group therapy. This listener reached out. She's the mom of a 2-year-old, 4-year-old, and is struggling with favoring one of her kids over the other, and is like, I'm ashamed that I like one of my kids more than the other, and I don't want to feel like this. And has anyone else felt this way, and will it go away?
Yeah, a lot of people chiming in with support, like been there, done that. Got a text. The daughter's old enough to go to a mom's day out or preschool. The daughter probably needs a dose of the real world and her attitude will adjust around other kids. The ultimate attitude changer are your peers. I was in the same situation, but I promise you it does get a lot better once they're in school or daycare or preschool or anything around other kids.
Yeah. Hey, Kay.
So my thoughts are, is as a mom, you can't be too hard on yourself on the way you feel towards your kids. Each kid is different, and each kid is going to need a different kind of relationship. To the parents who say that they love their kids equally, that is not true. We do love our kids regardless of what they do, but it's going to change so fast in each progression of their age.
Yeah.
So just be patient. It will change. As they get older, they, more mature. When she gets to kindergarten, she might be different.
Yeah.
So don't be hard on yourself.
Kay, thank you so much for calling in.
Thank you.
Hey, Jasmine, so what's your thought on this?
Okay, well, I have two boys. They're 4 years apart, and I am living this right now. My oldest is mellow. I mean, he can have his moments, but he's mellow.
Right.
My youngest is just, we can't go places. We can't go to restaurants. We can't go to the grocery store. We can't go anywhere because we know it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
And everybody that I talk to that have kids that are older than mine say it goes away. Like, this too shall pass. I mean, it's going to get better. It's just they have to get out of this, whatever stage it is, and it'll get better.
Jasmine, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a great day.
Hey, you too. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Becca texted in and was like, hey, I have 5 children. A lot of times I would trade them for nothing in this world. And then there are some days that I would trade them for a ham sandwich. My daughter did the exact same thing from like 4 to 6 years old, but then it got better. I promise it will get better. We're not like we're not going to like everybody every day. And that goes for our kids too.
Yeah, our years were like 3 to 6 with her. Laura said, what I found that worked for me and my strong-willed child was spending one-on-one quality time with her really changes everything. Plan an outing for just the two of you. Let her pick what restaurant to go to. Let her pick out the activity, and you have fun together. At this age, she doesn't have exactly control of what happens in her life. Giving her a day to make her own choices will make things better. The only rule was, safety during these outings.
Right.
And then Whitney said, you're not a horrible mama. You're human. I'm in the same situation. 6-year-old, strong-willed, 2-month-old. I'd rather be with the baby most days. Reconnect with your oldest. Spend some one-on-one time. Remember, they're human too. Life is hard for them, but you're by no means horrible or have something terribly wrong with you.
Man, I'll tell you, if nothing else, the thread on Facebook is chock full of great parenting advice from listeners.
It's a support group for everybody. Yeah. There's a lot of this one-on-one thing is something that's being mentioned quite a bit. And I read that in, I think Happiest Toddler on the Block was one of the books that I read. And that's absolutely, it's acknowledging their feelings and also, making sure you're filling that tank with that one-on-one time.
Man, good luck. Good luck with this because, but I at least be reassured that, look, sometimes
you're not alone. Kids
are hellions and it's just like you're just trying not to murder them, on a day-to-day basis. But then there are times that you're just like, obviously you love them and they mean the world to you and you just want them to grow into respectful, contributing members of society,
It's the greatest job in the world, but it's also the hardest. And, her kids right now are in the time frame where they kind of are still like little cave people and they don't have like full control over their emotions or can find the words to express it. So that's how they throw tantrums. That's how they're expressing themselves. So you just got to buckle down, get through it and try to find some of these suggestions are really good.
All right. If you want to add yours at Ben and Kelly Show and keep us posted. Thanks. It's group therapy.